Well, good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I've got sound effects. Thank you for those of you that sent me an email that said, okay, I tried it and it works. Okay. We have a very interesting speaker tonight, along with an interesting topic. And Dave Williams is coming live to us from Des Moines, Iowa. So please welcome him. And he's going to be speaking to us on why engage in social media, especially if you're over 50. Our speaker, he has joined the Central Iowa Computer User Club, and he's all around. And this is how he teaches all of his programs, is through YouTube and various means. And so I sent you all an email, so I'm trusting that you read it. So you've already read his wonderful bio and the full description of the class. I hope you will enjoy this. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dave Williams. Dave?
Okay. As I said, I have to now share my screen and then we'll start talking. Okay, I guess it doesn't want to work that way. Do it this way. And we've got why engage in social media. Oh, that's the reason. Okay. I have to go out and come back in.
I want to know, is it hot enough for everyone? It was 101 degrees in my kitchen today, and that's with the air on.
Okay. I said, I'm going to give it just a minute to see. I should be seeing it. I'm waiting for it to hit up on YouTube so y'all can follow along. Is the share screen? There we go. Okay. Good afternoon or evening or whatever it is. A second. Only got one. There we go. Okay. Okay, hang on. As I said, for some other reason, my second screen hadn't showed up here. Okay, well, I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, I know what I did. I forgot to add the second screen. My fault, folks. Switch windows, slideshow. Okay, I switched it off to do another presentation, and I'm sorry. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop sharing my screen. We'll be back in a minute. Did that work? Okay, hang on. Okay, they said we should be going here, and I don't know why. It worked. Oh, that's a Zoom meeting. Okay, let's go here. Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. Oh, the PowerPoint went off. Okay. Slight little technical difficulties when you got to hit the right button. Here we go. Can everybody see that? We should be getting to go. Why engage in social media? Sorry it took me so long to get here. Want to give you a warning. It said, I am not an expert on social media. This is just a collection of my opinions, ideas, and research. So what I want to basically tell you is if you do anything I suggest in this presentation and it mucks up your computer, it's not my fault. So it's everything's fine. We're just gonna, hopefully you'll learn a lot today. So as I said, there are a lot of slides and there's a lot of writing on the slides. And what I want to comment, Bob is recording this will show up on YouTube. So if you want to go back afterwards, you'll have an opportunity to read it at your speed. If it's, I try to make it so it fits the screen, and if it's too small, you can go back in and enlarge the screen.
Want to sit here?
And also it's, no, social media. We're going to talk about what is it? Why do it? Do we care? And my favorite comment, social media is like teen sex. Everybody wants to do it, but nobody knows how. Yes? Yes. Share screen.
There we go.
Okay, one second. I got that. I put the wrong one in. Hang on. We got to go back. Picked up the wrong share. It switched screens on me. So we're good to go. There we go. Okay, as I said, we talked a little bit about social media. So social media is like teen sex. Everyone wants to do it, but nobody knows how. So okay, let's look at a definition. It's not centered on the screen. Social media or media designed to be disseminated through social interaction using highly accessible and scalable publishing techniques. Social media use web-based technologies to transform and broadcast media monologues into social media dialogues. I didn't write that. Social media can said to have three components. The concept, that's the art, the information, or the meme. The media, the physical, electronic, or verbal, and the social interface. Intermediate contact, community engagement, social viral, electronic broadcast or syndication, or the physical media such as print. Okay, there are many, many different ways, and this is just a graphic that I found that shows a couple of them. Again, this is even more social media, and this is not even a full list, but it's a good graphic. Okay, here's examples of social media websites. Social bookmarking. That's where you interact by tagging websites and searching through websites booked by other people. There's the social news, interacting by voting for articles and commenting on them. Social networking, interact by adding friends, commenting on profiles, joining groups, and having discussion. Facebook. Social photo and video sharing. You interact by sharing photos or videos and commenting on other users' subscriptions. YouTube, Flickr, Google Photos, there are a bunch of them. There are wikis. Wikipedia Wiki. It's the interaction by adding articles and editing existing articles. That's what the professors don't want the kids to use because you never know who's been editing it. And these websites are not the only websites social media is involved with. Any website that invites you to interact with the site and other visitors falls into the definition of social media. That can be a whole lot of things. Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. This is the one that is all the young people are using. I don't really quite understand it, but I put it in the list because everybody seems to be using it. I don't think too many seniors are going to be TikToking. Instagram, that is a popular one. You know, you see all the models on it, but you do get to find out a whole lot of good stuff from your friends, family. It's sort of like Facebook. LinkedIn, you know, business persons and informational site. YouTube, probably one of the most famous social media sites around. Everybody goes to YouTube to find something. You want to know how to do something? Somebody put it on Facebook. May not be true, but put it on YouTube. It may not be true, but it's up there. So you can usually find something that works. And last but not least, I've added Zoom to this list. So during this pandemic, the Zoom has become a very popular way of staying in touch. They're teaching, people interact with families. You know, whether you used to go visit them, now you can do it on Zoom and get more than one person. You know, you still got the one-on-one contact through FaceTime and Duo and a couple others from your phone, but Zoom allows you to get 3 or 4 people together to do things. You can probably name some others. Mobile, as I said, that's a fast-growing bit of the social media screen. Just add a couple to, we got Foursquare and Swarm is a site where you visit to eat or visit, and you tell people that you're there, and hopefully they come and visit you. It's not as popular. Yelp, you all heard of, is the social media site where you review dining, which some people do a good job of, and other people get paid to falsify. Texting, IMing, it's a lot of us do. You know, through texting. I don't think too many of us do the instant messaging unless it's Facebook Messenger. A lot of us probably text on their phone a lot. Then you got the music, or with Music Last FM, and music sites that allow you to comment on music, see what other people are doing, and even listen to music. Now, here is a social media explained. This is several years old, but it still gives you an idea of what's going on. Twitter, you'd say, I am eating a donut with the hashtag donuts. Facebook, I like donuts. Foursquare, this is where I eat donuts. Instagram, here is a vintage photo of my donut. YouTube, here I am eating a donut. LinkedIn, my skills include donut eating. Pinterest, here's the donut recipe. That's still another favorite site. Last FM, listening to donuts. And G+, I'm a Google employee who eats donuts. And that site sort of is gone. But, okay, social networks and type of sites. Just want to talk a little bit about Facebook. Here's the list, you know, the Central Iowa Computer User Group, which is my home user group, is on Facebook. APCUG is on Facebook. So that is a very popular site. Go back to Twitter. I don't know how many people actually use Twitter. If you notice that it seems like everybody uses Twitter. You know, you always hear about the president tweeting, or everybody tweets about what something's going on. I don't know actually how many people actually read it, except the news people, the media people, then report it. So when something happens on the news, they tend to go and grab all the Twitter comments about something and post it. So that's how people get messages. And Twitter was also the media that broke the death about Michael Jackson. It's the first one to do it. Okay, you got photos and videos. Flickr. You know, you've got the pictures and share pictures. This is just one example. There are a bunch of sites out there. And the YouTube. And here is the APCUG YouTube site, which we have past presentations of a lot of our presentations given at the our VTCs. Instagram is a fun and simple creative way to capture, edit, and share photos, video, and messages with family and friends. You know, every time you turn around, you see somebody posting something to Instagram. You know, especially a lot of celebrities, you know, you hear they have 12 million Instagram followers. They get paid a lot of money for posting stuff on Instagram. TikTok. Since it's so famous, I had decided to bring it. TikTok is a social network for sharing user-generated videos, mostly of people lip syncing to popular songs. It was originally called Musical.ly. Users can create and upload their own videos where they lip sync, dance, or just talk. And it's another way of sharing information. Okay, why? 20 odd slides in, and I have not talked about why you should engage in social media. Hopefully now that I've explained what social media is, and you can see some added value. Hopefully you see some added value. What tool to use? Social media is so popular because it allows other people to manage and accomplish their everyday activities. Social media is part of people's routine and an essential way to communicate, shop, and find things to do. For some, social media even usually opens up career opportunities. Okay, hang on, I got to go back here. Okay, what kind of social media do people use? Twitters tend to consume news. MySpace, which is still around, is games and entertainment. Facebook, both in the news and community, and Dig's audience has a mixed bag of interest. This is according to an online advertising network who set out to analyze the interest of these sites used by comparing genres of sites that receive traffic from these social networks. About 300,000 impressions were used in the report, and based on the research, each social site has a distinct makeup of users with unique taste. The graphic below, which we'll see in a minute, what does interesting is that nearly half of the traffic, Twitter, falls into the news category, and the news generated surpasses that of Facebook by nearly 20%. It would appear that to make use of number one social network for Newsies, another interesting tidbit is that MySpace have no interest in use whatsoever. Instead of the corner of the website split into between video games and celebrity entertainment and content. This is sort of shifted to some of the other networks. This aligns with what we've seen in terms of MySpace and where it's headed in the future. Anything the data points to in various interest networks important information for marketers and advertisers is in the hope to leverage each site. So everything is all about money and getting advertising. Okay, here's a social media platform, and this was back in April of 2018. They don't have a whole lot of, it takes them a while to get these reports, but it gives you an idea of what's happening. That you can see people who use the platform and people who access the platform continuously throughout the day. So you can see where Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Google Plus, which is sort of gone now, Twitter, Pinterest, and Tumblr. Again, some of them people use the platform, but don't access it all the time. So let's look at a little bit of social media and adaptation. As you can see, the different colors: millennials, Gen X, baby boomers, and silents. As I said, I guess, okay, some of us are baby boomers, some of us silents. Okay, these are the people that own a smartphone, that own a computer, and use social media. So you can see the baby boomers and silents, especially, are not real big on social media. But I bet that if you took a survey now, that you'd see that increase now that everybody is at home because social media has increased. Now, as I said, these are the people that use at least once a week. So you can see how powerful Facebook is. But 82% of the people use it at least once a week. YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, another millennial thing, Pinterest, and Twitter. So you can see they move quite along. Okay. Yes. Yes. What are social media influences? Well, I hate to be flippant, but they're people that influence social media. Uh, yeah, I know. But what you're looking at, a lot of people think they're social media influencers and people tend to look at them. A lot of them are celebrities that influence what people are doing. Um, a lot of people, you got sports figures, I guess you call them celebrities also. And a lot of it is people that, I mean, even I guess even some politicians would fall into that bed. But then again, you fall back into they're the people that are doing it, but they have to look at the market they're going after. And we went back a couple of slides that show where Facebook and Instagram are the major producers of information. So, and there we have to look at the people that use that, or the millennials and younger that are tending to do that. Some of the younger people, actually, to be honest with you, are straying away from Facebook and going to Instagram. Even though a lot of the people do Facebook, a lot of times what you see is their Instagram post going into Facebook, and people follow them. So if you got it, as I said, I'm just going to give an example that I noticed from a marketing standpoint. Read an article. Britney Spears, whether you like her or don't like her, she posted a couple videos, a couple pictures on Instagram of her and her boyfriend lounging at the beach. And they're lying face down on a towel looking at the picture. And in the front of the picture is a sandal. And I don't remember the name of the sandal, but it's a famous brand that she uses. So while that picture was of her, people look at it and recognize that she uses that sandal. So that sandal got media attention. It's a very popular brand. I'm not much into sandals, so I don't really know, but it's something that they do. When you see people, let's say people doing makeup videos, a lot of times they're plugging um, makeup lines, eyeliners, blushes. I don't know exactly what. Okay. Um, they also talk about clothes. Have you ever noticed that anytime anybody goes to a gallery or one of these red carpets, they always ask, "What are you wearing?" That's because the clothes manufacturer, the clothes, Gucci or whoever, lends or gives the celebrity the outfit so they can wear it and then they talk about it. A lot of times in the pictures you see makeup by this, dresses by this, jewelry by so and so. So they're getting the names out of what's going on. Um, and again, this sort of rolls. Did that? Hopefully that answered the question. Any other questions about that? We can move on. Again, the role various types of media play in people's lives. If I didn't answer the question, I can come back and I'll get it at the end. Why people use social media, the different types of media. The social is entertaining, and they say they can't live without it, like to spend the most time with. And people say I get my up-to-date political information from the traditional media, but that's sort of moving now over to social, and that's because a lot of the traditional media is moving to YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. And the connection to brands is social, mainly. That's where they say they can find the information about the company they like or what's going on. Some people try to be trendsetters. When I was growing up, my mother always read the fashion magazines out of New York City and tried to tell me what I should be wearing. That's how I got my first disco shirt, because she said everybody was wearing them and I needed one. So the only problem is when I crack a joke, I can't tell if anybody's laughing or not. But it's, this is what they do to see what's going on. It's social media is you're connecting, but the media wants to use what you're connecting about to do some advertising. That's the reason you see much advertising on Facebook. Why do people use social media? You keep up to date with what your friends are doing. Sorry about that. For news, entertainment, distraction, information. Why they use the other media for news, entertainment, distraction, information, and news. So social media is, quite a bit for gossip. Who's doing what to whom? Who's having a baby? For news of what's posted. It's a lot of the regular websites are posting on Facebook, also doing the same thing on Twitter, posting on Facebook with a link to take you back to what you're doing. It's just like that Bob will probably post a link on Facebook when this video is up, saying this video is up and trying to get people to come back and see it. And I don't know if we're going to get entertain anybody, but hopefully they'll learn some stuff. Some people go to social media just for distraction, or the media for distraction. So, word of mouth is not two-way communication better than top down. Get your information, you're going both ways. You choose what you want, where, and when. Company and advertisers want to engage you. So hopefully they're picking out people they like, and what you see in advertising are something you may be interested in. Unless you searched it on Amazon and Google, and Facebook picks it up, so you get to see it for a while. I could go on, but you are in control of social media, of what you see and what you do. Facebook. This is probably the number one site that I see seniors using of what's going on, because it's informative. You can find out what's going on with friends. And the one good thing about this is you could set it up with sort of like filters, and you can have um, different channels. Totally this is not over here, but uh, you can fix it so you can have sites from your old school buddies, old fraternity brothers, old drinking buddies, old work buddies. You can set that up. Then you can set it up for celebrities. You can set it up for this. So you only see the news feeds that you're interested in for that, instead of having to go through all of them. Most people tend to go through all of them, but you can set it up so you can have different conversations. So this is a good way of staying informed. And also, as I said, with the links, people going back. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about Twitter. It's very important out there about Twitter. Most seniors don't use it. You don't have to. Other people use it. And as I said, the people gather it. As I said, you can see the different timelines and different stuff I set up to monitor it. You get your raw pain to have to watch this all the time. But people twit or tweet, and you can have ways of collecting that. And as I said, some people have it just set up that they just get tweets from their favorite person. Other times the tweets are important because they get cited in the news. When you read an article about somebody doing something, then you usually have I can't think of anything not controversial to talk about, but usually when you do that, then they'll go through in the website or the report and mention several tweets of what people talk about. This person said this about the event. This person said this about the event or the happening. Somebody wins an award and everybody tweets, congratulations, this type of stuff. So you're getting other people's views of what's going on. Or if there's an event that's controversial, then people are going to tweet their view of it. So, you really don't have to follow Twitter to actually be involved in it and using it as an end user. Okay. Another site that you really, could look at is the APCUG videos. This is something that is sort of like what we're doing now. Is this is going to get posted into YouTube. So a future reference will be there, so you can go back and look at it at your own leisure. And at the same time, it's searchable. And these are great because you can search it or just look at it. I mean, this is just some of the stuff that came up from a long time ago, but that I used that, you still got Windows 8. So as I said, this is sort of an old slide, but it fits into what I wanted to talk about. You got the digital photo SIG. So everybody doing something. So if everybody posts their videos on YouTube, then you can go and find out what other clubs are doing, what are the topics are going on. It's amazing, since I've been sort of locked up or haven't gone anywhere, the different sites, the different people that post stuff. I actually recently joined a site where a gentleman, which is a Google product support person or Google products specialist, knows a lot about Google, does daily videos on tips of what's going on. Some of them are simple, some of them are a little more complicated. And then once a week, he has usually has a visitor on talking about another topic. And you can get those and get that Everybody okay?
Yep.
Okay. You may want to mute yourself.
No. I did.
Okay. So these are things you can find out about what's happening. You know, here's Evernote. This is a presentation given by Huey Poplock, and he still gives the presentation. And I don't know if I know he's presented to your group. I don't know if he's presented on Evernote or not, but he's a very good presenter. And you can actually search for presenters that you like. You know, I know you've had Jerry Minnick and you've had some others. So if you happen to like, just like a book or music, if you happen to like the presentation that someone gave, it was clear, it was understanding, you know, you can do some searches. You know, I even got a couple of searches up there. I don't really rank high most of the time in the thing, but you can see the different views. Now that the people are still locked up or still staying at home, these numbers are going up. Okay, last but not least, we're going to talk about Zoom. One of the most striking and perhaps surprising aspect of life under lockdown has been the speed and ease at which Zoom and other tools have been adopted as part of communal life. Some services have moved online, and for even those who cannot countenance the use of technology, it has swiftly become the norm for many gatherings. Some have even argued they feel more connected and involved than before the lockdown. This is an opportunity that we must seize and build on when eventually we move out of the crisis. It is a statement of the obvious that online communications is not satisfactory substitute for physical presence. But we now know that the number of mechanisms keeping a sense of community, we have stumbled upon a means of drawing in some of the people who have felt excluded or undervalued, vital not to fall back into normal ways of doing things. Again, this will allow people that couldn't get out, didn't want to get out, and other ways, and people are venting about ways of using it. So now you can go in and you can get interactive lessons. As I said, for example, Zoom has weekly or biweekly, you know, presentations on how to use Zoom. One of my favorite, Snagit, which is a Camtasia, which is a program used by TechSmith, and they also have Camtasia, which is a fancy video editing. They have weekly or biweekly seminars on how to use their service, and it's all done through Skype or similar service. So that's the way people are getting the information. You used to have to go downtown to the convention center or something to hear a keynote speaker or find out about something or what's going on. Now, in the comfort of your own home, you can lay back and watch this. So I won't ask how many people are lounging in their lounger with a laptop on their lap, looking at this with their fuzzy slippers on. It's probably a little warm down there for fuzzy slippers, but you get the point. Because I had one friend that we were at a meeting and I said, Bob, you need to turn on your video. He says, I'm not going to. It said, the email that I got about this said that we can watch in our pajamas, and I'm still in my pajamas. So this gives you an opportunity, if you're having a bad hair day or something, you can still watch an event without having to actually go, and it's interactive. You know, a lot of them, you know, you're going to either be able to verbally talk or ask questions about what's going on. And then you got the sense of, you know, at your meeting, sometimes you can't understand what everybody else is asking. Here you can see the question, it gets repeated, and you can listen to it. As technology grows faster over time, Technologies are just the predictions of current trends. But in the future, these technologies might be a starting phase of something big that's going to come. As the human mind's working all around the clock to innovate and research new ways to live easier on the earth and beyond, the only choice that we have is to wait and watch how extreme these technologies will shape our futures. Okay, this is a little slide that I'll leave up for just a minute. Um, Hopefully that you have a chance to read it. This may not be it, but this is talking a little bit about social marketing, about posting on Facebook and Twitter and, you know, that type of stuff. So this is funny. And one last little bit here, leave it up. It, you know, it may be possible to be too connected. Okay. What I'm what I'm going to do now is uh, we're going to have some questions, and what's going to happen is that by the time it gets to the slide I'm watching, so that Bob can shoot me any questions that he has after we get to the discussion part of this. So I said, we now here, so feel free to shoot him some questions. Um, Nothing any more than anything else. Um, Again, what I would have to do is, you know, you don't really have a whole lot of battery usage or usage on cell phones for apps that don't do it. The only app that I could questionably say would use up a lot of battery power and power would be YouTube because you're watching a video. One of the things that I would recommend is that you look at that. Most of the phones have a device or a program that allows you to look at usage, and a lot of them allow to look at usage per app, and that's what I would check and see what's happening on your phone. Because what's going to happen is everybody out there has a different phone and a different ages of phone. Um, you know, these apps don't work on flip phones, but a lot of us still run modern day flip phones that work just fine, 4G, but you know, they're basically for calling. And then you go up to some of the high end phones, you know, that you can do a whole lot of stuff with. And the newer phones have tended to got a lot better with battery usage. And some of them have devices that if you're not using the app, it will turn down battery options. So if you're leaving things going, um, and a lot of it depends on the, you know, the battery. You know, some batteries are better at holding their strength and not using as much. So I don't know. Hopefully that answered the question. That they're not going to be. I mean, if you have everything running all at one time, yes. But you know, some people keep Facebook up. A lot of times you can memorize it. I mean, minimize it, or it pops up when you know you can turn it off, and then you get the notification when something comes in, unless you're constantly using it. Okay, no problem. Twitter is, well, it used to be 128. Now it's a little bit more characters about what's doing. It supposedly meant you tweeted, okay. One bad example is you would tweet, I'm just got off I just pulled out $300 from the ATM and I'm moving through this dark alley going back to this nightclub. Okay. That would be a tweet, something you're doing. It's sort of stupid. You don't tweet that. But that would be something that people would put out what you're doing. And it's all verbal, and you may have a link to a different platform. But people tend to use it to put out facts. Today I passed my driver's license for the third time. And it's a fact that people may be interested in. Most of it's used by news people and politicians and other people putting out what's going on. Somebody may post, but usually what happens is when they post, they're cross-platforming posting. So you're not really missing out on a whole lot. In my opinion, seniors are not missing out a whole lot by not following Twitter online or on their phone, unless they've got a friend that uses it and likes to use it, because that information will show up in other methods. Facebook is more of a social interaction, and it has a lot to do with pictures. When you see a post with a picture, it tends to catch your eye instead of reading it. A lot of people will post what's going on, but a lot of them will post the picture when they want to get your attention. So here's a picture of my newest grandkid, and then in the comments they would stick down the details. So that's useful. Politicians and everybody else, what's going on.
I've got another question for you.
No problem.
Are you able to ask a question directly when you use the YouTube interface, or is asking via chat your only option?
And YouTube, the only thing you can do is ask through chat. It's a one-way presentation. That's the reason Zoom, is two-way. You can ask questions and get the answers. But here, the only way is through chat, because if they had the ability, I mean, the problems would be significant because you got an awful lot of audiences. And what happens is when you visit the YouTube site, watching the video, the chat pops up so you can see what people are talking about. So from the social media standpoint, it's a whole lot easier to do it by YouTube. But unless the question, it would be the format of what you're doing. When you're giving a presentation like this, either platform will work. But if you're teaching something and you need immediate interaction and people's interactions, then Zoom works. But Zoom also has what they call a webinar function, which is the same sort of as YouTube, that you give the presentation and people react via the chat or question and answers for the questions and answers. It just sort of limits what's going on. So no, YouTube does not have verbal questions, but you can get everything put into the chat.
We just had a comment in the chat. It makes me wonder if my microphone is not being heard. But anyways, I have another question for you. What is a mime? M-E-M-E.
It's sort of a, it's hard to explain. It's sort of a picture that describes something. Let me see my infinite wisdom here. Where am I? Two, 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 two. Oh, he was up. Okay, I get it. M-E-M-E. Okay. If you want to believe the information, it's an element of a cultural system of behavior that be considered to pass one individual to another by non-genetic means, especially imitation. Another one is a humorous image, video, police attacks that is copied, often with a slight warning, slight variations, and spread rapidly by the internet. In other words, it's a picture that may be altered that is passed on the internet. You know, somebody's goof, you know, somebody, you know, let's say somebody is got the finger up the nose, bad example. So someone will post that. The mailman makes some sort of comment about it.
Okay. I just got. I'm gonna have to adjust the mic on mine.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Looks like. Let's see what. Oops. Looks like that's what we got for questions.
Okay, now does anybody else?
Can you hear me, Bob?
Yeah, if Dave wants to stop sharing, we can.
Okay, as I said, there are some chats. Okay, they're also talking about this. APCUG has a Twitter account. If you'd like to follow that, you know, and as I said, you know, the one thing I would recommend is that you can, when you go to APCUG videos, there's a share button, and you can a subscribe button, and you subscribe, and then when a new video is posted, then you'll get notification of it. So that's a good way of keeping up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are way too many things, you know. To me, email is social media, social interaction, because you're passing stuff. It depends on what it is. But, you know, it can be social. You're sending somebody a joke or sending somebody a picture. You know, that's social interaction on the media. So there are many different things. I mean, most of you involved in social media, even not knowing it. I mean, you know, it's media that's social. You know, it's interaction. You know, two-way street. You know, a lot of the time it's one way and you got to ask the question, but you get to choose what's going on. So you want me to stop sharing my screen?
Yep. And if you've got.
Yeah, Bob, I'd just like to make one statement at the end. I want to remind everyone that, remember, our lab is open now, and we're open 6 days a week from 12:30 to 5. So for those of you that were not aware of that, I sent out an email today, and I hope you received it. But please come in. You're welcome to use our computers for different things.
You have to wear face mask?
Pardon?
You have to wear face mask?
Yes, you must have a face mask on.
Okay. How do you, I mean, I'm just curious. We're talking about starting us up. How do you sanitize it?
We have wipes there for the machines. They're cleaned after anyone leaves. We have downsized the amount, so we only have 14 computers now instead of our normal amount. And so it works out very well. So we clean the keyboards and everything after each person.
Okay, how many people can you fit in there at one time?
14.
And you're still maintaining 6 feet?
Yes.
Okay, so you got a big enough space. We go 6 feet and we'll get maybe 4 or 5 in our place.
And we are allowing people, if you have your own laptop and you want to bring it in and look at your email and check it out or various things on your own computer, you can do that. Just please don't share your computer with someone else. But we are allowing that. You cannot bring in a desktop, and we're not at this time doing any repairs. Bob, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah. Well, if you liked your presentation tonight, please click on the subscribe button and click the little bell right next to it. You'll get notified of any upcoming presentations. And at that, Dave, if you would have anything you'd like
I just want to visit. It said there are some interesting points and some comments in the chat. APCUG videos wrote some stuff in there. And some other people wrote some comments, so that'd be something nice. It's not that much. I would review the comments, and I have very much enjoyed making this presentation. And said I'm going to be quiet until actually that it can get back, and Bob's going to have to wait about 5 minutes or so to be able to shut this thing down because of the delay. But again, you've got my information on dwilliams at apcug.org if you have any questions. And Bob and Diane can answer the questions, or if you have a specific topic you'd like to see, please give them a call or email. So it looks like you know how to get a hold of Diane.
Thank you very much, Dave, for being our presenter this evening.
Okay.
And we'll be back.
Bye.